It is time to look at another wave of Amiibo, this time more coming out for Smash Brothers, and I've got 3 today. Got Incineroar, Chrom, and Simon. So let's start with Incineroar and take a look at these guys and see sort of what we think. Again, this is more just me trying to collect every single Amiibo because I think they're freaking cool. So Incineroar obviously comes from Pokemon Sun and Moon. It is the 3rd evolution of the Fire Starter. And he's a pretty big boy. He's dark and fire, but has fighting moves, so basically still fits into that fire fighting theme. But I will say that he looks pretty cool. He's got lots of texture on him to show that he has fur, which makes sense. Oh, he's got an unfortunate pole coming out of his back. I like his tail, because it looks like the tip of it exploded. Looks like a banana. A banana, but instead they put a sausage inside. And his belt, you know, it's just nice, bright and shiny fire. His face is really cool, too. Nice and expressive. I love the way that they did, like, the cheek fluffs and the claws. Nice and cool and sharp. And he's even got like little pads on the inside of his paws. He's a cool Pokemon. He's not my favorite out of the starters. My favorite was always I can't remember the name of it for the life of me now, but the grass type starter from these was my favorite. Why can't I remember the name? Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's put him off to the side and let's take a look at Chrom. It's another sword boy. Because there's plenty of Fire Emblem characters on this series now. So let's take a look at him. I mean, they always do them pretty well. Not complaining, just a lot of Fire Emblem. Okay, so we have Chrom. Actually, with a pretty cool pose. Looks very heroic. I like the cape. Reminds me of Ike's Amiibo, because I feel like Ike's Amiibo does basically the same thing, and we can verify. It wasn't Ike, but it was alternate Chrom. He has a flowing cape, basically the same. This is Chrom, right? Yeah, no, it totally is. But this is like the actual Fire Emblem one, which I have gone over previously. When I looked at Ike, he's got a cape, but it's just like flowing down, and then got Marth, who again has like a downward flowing cape. Closest that one has is this guy, which why can't I remember this guy's name? He's the dragon guy. Anyway, capes. His is pretty cool. Let's just actually get a look at this Amiibo though. I like his boots. All the detail on the buckles. That's cool. Nice work on the painting on the pants. Sword, while a little bit bent, is perfectly fine. Even got good detail on the hands. Like this little shoulder guard. I don't know, everything on this is like nicely detailed, down to the buckle and the hilt for his sword. Jesus Christ. It's just very well painted. Is that like a little... Nah. It's a little seam in there that didn't necessarily get painted quite well, but that's okay. It's excusable. I don't know why I'm being so judgy on this one. The faces have always been a little bit like odd because like they're so small compared to some of the other like Nintendo characters with big expressions and big faces. But they work well. The eyes are there. Simple expression. Looks very stoic. Yeah, let's move on to the next one, which is Simon. This is a new series addition to Smash Brothers, of course. Fire Emblem and Pokemon have been in there before, obviously, but Castlevania has not yet been represented until Ultimate. And they did a freaking cool job with this guy. Just everything is super cool about this, with the fact that I mean, he has boots. I can deal with the boots, and by boots I mean the little plastic shoes. But the detail on his actual boots is really cool. That little fur cuff that they've got folded over, even with the steel tips, that's neat. Jesus Christ, so much detail. Even like the muscles in his legs. Goodness, I don't know, like even like his armor. Super impressive. Like lots of different textures, lots of different ways of actually adding detail to it. Some with paint and some just with like the actual molding. It's very impressive, and I like his expression and hair. Like it's definitely like a very big throwback to like it reminds me of like 80s and 90s like action heroes from movies, like very Conan the Barbarian, like a shoulder guard and armor too. And the way that they did his whip was really cool. It's not very flexible, but they wanted to make it look like it was actually flowing, and they used like a little connection between his wrist and the whip to sort of make it look flowing. And honestly, it's a very impressive statue, and I can't wait for them to put out, because the Richter was an alternate, right? Yes, I can't wait for another one of these guys. But honestly, like, it looks great. It was painted well, lots of really good color, and honestly, this is my favorite one out of the three. But let me know down below which is your favorite. Which character do you prefer playing with in Smash Brothers? And yeah, do you just like collecting the Amiibo just like I do? But either way, we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.